This area ranks number 2 in the country in terms of intellectual property patent growth, which really speaks to the innovation that we see here. And finally, Provo consistently ranks among the best cities to live and do business in. So, at Google, we believe the future of the internet will be built on gigabit speeds. And we have a high degree of confidence that a lot of the businesses and residences here, people know exactly what they're going to do with it and what they're going to build on top of this, and we're really excited. Let me take a step back and provide a little bit of context, because I get asked this question quite a bit. What is a gigabit? Today, most Americans have broadband connections that are roughly 6 megabits a second. That's the size of the connection that you have in your home today. 6. A gigabit is 1,000 megabits, which means that a gigabit is more than 100 times faster than what people have today. Now, I get asked this question quite a bit. Why is Google then building a gigabit fiber network? And there are really 2 different reasons. First and foremost, we believe that speed matters. It's not just about people. We know that people who have faster connections do more of what they do today. However, more importantly, it's really about those applications that haven't been built yet. We have engineers at Google, there are engineers across the country at plenty of different companies. And they have great ideas, they want to build new applications. But they can't. It's not practical because the end user speeds are simply not fast enough. Now, I think we're on the right side of history here. Do people in the audience remember dial-up?
Oh yeah.
So the move from dial-up to broadband was also a 100x improvement. It was a 100-time improvement in the speeds. Now, when we were all on dial-up, sending text messages or text email back and forth and low-res pictures, we couldn't possibly have imagined all the things that we do today. From e-commerce, maps, watching videos online. In fact, the other day I took my son to Paris. On Google Earth and Street View, we were able to navigate the streets in Paris. These are all the things that we never imagined were possible when we were on dial-up, and we do them today. We treat them like anything else as an ordinary part of our day. Think about all the new applications that are going to be built on top of a gigabit. That's what makes us really excited. The second reason that we're building the gigabit network is because we believe that when more people are on the internet, it makes our communities stronger. From an economic development standpoint, to healthcare, to education, to civic engagement. Let me give you a stat that I learned recently. Did you know that businesses that use the web grow 40% faster than those that don't? And they're twice as likely to create new jobs. And that's why we want to help start a national dialogue about the importance of gigabit speeds and ubiquitous access. And Provo will now join our 2 other fiber cities, Kansas City and Austin, as pioneers who will shape that conversation. In fact, Provo's been a part of this national dialogue for almost a decade. And it really was about a decade ago that you all recognized how important broadband access was to your residents, to people at home, to your families, to your businesses and entrepreneurs. And so you took steps to make an investment in building a fiber optic network. And today, we couldn't be more humbled by the opportunity to work with you to more fully realize that original vision. The agreement that we reached the city, pending city council approval and getting the deal and the transaction closed, provides for a couple of things. First and foremost, the first thing we'll do is upgrade the network to be gig capable. And it's actually really important to remember that this network's actually been in the ground for about 10 years. Technology moves pretty fast. In fact, I'm using a tablet. I see a lot of tablets out here. Tablets didn't show up in the market until about 3 years ago. So technology moves really fast. There's a lot of work required to get the network upgraded, and that's the first thing we'll do. After we get the network upgraded, we're going to have an opportunity. We will connect every home that's currently passed by the network. And that means that we'll be pulling a physical fiber into your homes. On top of that network, we will then deliver a free basic broadband service, free of monthly recurring charge, for every resident that wants it for at least a period of 7 years. And obviously, for those that want a gig, you can upgrade to the gig or a gig plus TV offer at any point in time. And then finally, as we build out this network, we'll have an opportunity to connect 25 local public institutions, schools, libraries, hospitals, with free gigabit internet connectivity. I would just emphasize that there's a lot to do. Today is just a starting point. These networks are complicated, it takes a lot of time. And assuming that we can get the agreement finally closed, we're looking forward to getting started right away. And we hope to install users in the later part of this year. And once that network is completed, I wanted to emphasize a really important point. Once the network is completed, Provo will be one of the first cities in the world where access to basic broadband will flow like water or electricity. Free basic broadband will just be everywhere, and I think that's pretty cool. That was the original vision that all of you had. And again, it is absolutely an honor, and we are so humbled by this opportunity again to work with you and help you realize that. Right now, I'd like to introduce Michelle, as someone who can talk a little bit more about the impact of ubiquitous access on a very important community here in Provo. That's Provo's teachers and Provo's students. Please join me in welcoming Michelle Kafusi. She's the chairman of our Provo School Board.